Good friggin' morning from New England, folks, and welcome back to episode 48 of the So New England podcast. I am your host, Ian Brownhill, joined by my co-host, Robert Travisano, all things life's better in New England. Vincent Guarneri, behind the camera. We can't see him, but we're going to get him in front of the camera at some point.
We hit him today.
Once again, ladies and gentlemen, we have a phenomenal guest for you. We go out of our way to find the very best that New England has to offer, and this one will not disappoint. So, RJ, please introduce our wonderful guest for this evening.
As always, I love this part. This is definitely my favorite part of the podcast. When it comes to being an athlete, there are just certain qualities you must have to push yourself each and every day to get to that end goal and to be a winner, to be the best and push yourself to compete against the best. The tenacity you must maintain to continuously strive for greatness from yourself is a quality anybody who has ever competed in sports can understand. Now, the biggest events, you see them on TV, the football, the basketball, the baseball, the hockey. But there is one more place where the level is just so high and you represent more than just yourself. And that is where our guest today spends her time training for as a member of the good old US of A Paralympics team competing in the 100-meter and the long jump, which, by the way, big kudos, big shout out. She set the American records for these bad boy events right here. She is also the founder of the Born to Run Foundation and member of the 603. Vin, live free or die! And it's with great pleasure that I welcome Noelle Lambert to the pod!
What's up, guys? Oh my God, this is already my energy. I love it. It's the New Englanders. I already feel at home.
Did you hear the call from that sound effect, or do you?
I did.
Okay, I wasn't sure if that transfers.
That was great.
We don't have this too often. We wish we could have had you in studio, but thank you for joining us via our little Zoom link here. This is so wonderful to have you on the So New England podcast.
Thank you so much for having me. Like I said, I'm live and breathe everything New England, so I'm loving this already.
Yeah, I mean, how about that introduction? Doesn't it make you just want to run through a wall?
It really does. I really, you know what? And I'm looking at your Boston. I'm looking at your Celtics thing. I mean, I am a little heartbroken, but hey, that still fires me up. That still fires me up.
Everyone
I'm
here
live
is
and die.
too.
Yeah, Celtics, Patriots, Red Sox, Bruins, everything New England. So
Fantastic. So I got to ask you right off the rip, what is your fastest time?
All right. So my fastest time, for all you listeners out there, I am an above the knee amputee. So I am missing a knee and a foot. So my PR is a 14.97 second 100 meter. I mean, it's not the fastest. I get it. But
I think that's pretty fast.
My PR for long jump is 5.24 meters, which is about 17 and a half, 18 feet. So that's
holy smokes.
What I brag about now. It's because a lot of people can't do that. So it's like, okay, now I feel
about that. That's
I feel
awesome.
cool doing that.
That is incredible. Well, what a great individual you are to be having these incredible accomplishments under your belt. And as RJ mentioned, getting involved in philanthropy style work where you're working with individuals, talking about your experiences and talking about what you've went through and how you still maintained and became an incredible athlete that you are. But for our listeners, why don't we backtrack a little bit here? I would love to kind of hear the story behind what has gotten you to where you are in your life at this moment.
Absolutely. I grew up in Londonderry, New Hampshire, in an amazing household with incredible parents. And I also grew up with 3 older brothers. So from a very early age, I was not playing inside and playing with dolls. I was out in the dirt wrestling with my brothers, showing them who the real boss of the family was.
Yeah, we love it.
Exactly. That's really what drew me to fall in love with being an athlete. I always went to their sports games. They were big football players, wrestling, baseball. And that's really what I wanted to do with my life. I fell in love with it at a very young age. And growing up, I was a 3-sport varsity athlete, competing in soccer, basketball, and lacrosse. And my dream was to play a collegiate sport. And I then earned myself a Division I scholarship to play lacrosse at the University of Massachusetts Lowell. So keeping it New England. And during my freshman year, I had a standout rookie season, started every single game, leading point scorer on the team. And that summer, following my freshman year, I was involved in a moped accident while I was in Martha's Vineyard, and I sideswiped a dump truck, and I was completely lucid, completely conscious, and I just remember laying on the pavement and I lifted up my legs. And the first thing I realized was that my left leg was completely gone. It was completely severed on the scene.
Oh my God.
And the first thing that I thought about, of course, it was sports. It was lacrosse, because I didn't know who I was as a person without being an athlete. And I was honestly laying there thinking, my life is over. I'm never going to be able to walk again, let alone play sports. And luckily, the man that was driving behind me took his shirt off to create a tourniquet, which stopped the bleeding, which is one of the only reasons why I'm still alive today. And then I got med flighted to Boston Medical Center. And that was luckily the only thing wrong with me. I didn't have a scratch on my body other than me losing my leg. So I was only in the hospital for about 4 or 5 days. They literally they sewed me up. They got me out very quickly. And I was then transported over to Spalding Rehab. And I was there for about a week. And then I went home. And it was honestly just me realizing and that this was going to be my new life. I was going to be an amputee. But I will say this, because of the support that I received from the moment my accident happened to me, that was truly the moment that I realized I had such an incredible support system. Every single day I would wake up, I had tons of visitors coming to visit me, all my friends, family, all my teammates, the entire University of Massachusetts Lowell was reaching out and offering their support on whatever they could do to help me. And I was also very fortunate enough to receive so many different kind words, and actually a few of them coming to visit me, the Boston Marathon survivors. And
Wow.
when I was able to actually meet them, listen to their stories, I really couldn't feel sorry for myself in that moment. I mean, nobody did this to me. I did this to myself. And they were actually the first people to tell me that I'd be able to live the life that I wanted to, that this was just going to be a small hiccup in the road. I was still going to be able to play sports. And they were showing me all their different cool type of legs. This one's meant for water, like the water. This one's meant for running. And that's really what made me realize that this isn't going to be the rest of my life. Yes, I'm going to be an amputee, but I didn't want to let this one accident define the rest of my life and define the person that I wanted to become.
That's a phenomenal mindset to have. Well, I'm sorry that happened to you. I'm sure you've probably heard that a million times, but that's quite the story.
I'm not sorry.
Yeah,
honestly,
it doesn't seem like you are, and that's great. And I was going to ask you what the first thoughts were, but it sounds like you didn't really have much time to grieve. It sounds like right away you were already on the horse, ready to get back at it and learn this new way of living.
Absolutely. I mean, that was really my mindset from the beginning, was just keeping myself busy, because obviously you go through something traumatic or a difficult time, and the worst thing that you can do is lay in bed and feel sorry for yourself. So from the second I got home, I left the house. And when my sophomore season started and my sophomore year started, I was driving myself back and forth to campus every single day. I didn't even have a walking prosthetic yet. I had crutches and I was crutching around everywhere. And I just had the mindset of, I'm going to be a part of this team. And when I get my running blade, I'm going to be returning to play lacrosse again. That was in the back of my head. I knew that I was going to return to play. I needed to figure out when, and I needed to figure out how. And that was one of the challenging parts for me and for a lot of amputees, because if you're in an accident or you're born as an amputee, and if you have good insurance, the insurance company will pay for your everyday walking leg. They will cover that. And thank God, because I have a microprocessor knee, which means I have to charge it every single night. So these things are very high tech. They're very expensive. They can range anywhere from $40,000 to $60,000 if you're just paying it on your own. So luckily, insurance covers that. But if you want a running prosthetic, if you want to be active, insurance will not cover that. And they view it as a specialized prosthetic. So I was thinking to myself, if I want to play lacrosse again, I need a running blade. You can't really run with your everyday walking prosthetic. It's not as fluid, and the motions just aren't as, it's heavy, and the mechanics aren't the same as if you were to have a running prosthetic. So I didn't have this type of money, and these specialized prosthetics for running blades can range anywhere from $10,000 to $30,000, depending on what type of leg you want. And I started reaching out to all these foundations. And luckily, I was able to receive a running blade from the Challenge Athletes Foundation, but it was going to be about a 6-month process. So that entire sophomore year, in my head, I'm like, all right, I just need to change gears. I need to become a student coach, be a part of the team any way possible so that I could still kind of be in the mix. And then once I did receive my running blade, then I was going to be good to go, and I was going to return no matter what. Fast forward to when I did receive my running blade. It was the summer following my my sophomore year, and I remember putting my running blade on, and I was harnessed on a treadmill, and I could not run for more than 10 seconds at a time. It was completely unstable. I was very uncomfortable. I was extremely out of shape, but it was a lot harder than I expected. I knew it was going to be difficult, but like I said before, I don't have a knee, I don't have a foot. So these things are attached to me, and I need to basically get them to work the way I need them to. And I remember thinking, if I can't even run in a straight line, how am I going to be able to play lacrosse again? To be able to play lacrosse, you need to be versatile, you need to be able to cut back and forth, you need to be able to backpedal. Is this even possible? And I had my prosthetist in my ear. He's an above the knee amputee himself. And he simply told me in the beginning, listen, I don't know if you're ever going to play lacrosse again, because it's very difficult. And he has kids that play lacrosse. He was like, let's just try running. But I'm a very stubborn person. Once I put something in my mind, I will die trying to prove everybody wrong. I will die trying to accomplish it. And this is where the support from my teammates and my coaches really came into play, and is honestly the reason why I was ever even considered playing lacrosse again, because I showed up at that first practice and they threw me in because I had an agreement with my coaches that if I was going to do this, I need to be treated like everybody else. Don't treat me like somebody with a disability. If that's the case, then I'll quit now, because that's dumb. And from the very first second, they threw me into a full field scrimmage, couldn't catch a pass. My life depended on it. And I was falling and tripping everywhere because I hadn't picked up a lacrosse stick and ran at the same time. So when people are throwing me the ball, I'm not catching it. I'm back to when I first tried to play lacrosse in my entire life. And my assistant coach at the time, really took it upon herself to bring me in, and before and after practice every single day, we would work on drills that I wasn't comfortable with, footwork drills. That was the only thing we focused on, because if I can get comfortable with my prosthetic leg, then I don't have to worry about the bottom half of my body, and I could just worry about playing lacrosse. And we spent 4 to 5 months just doing that exact thing, and she was kicking my ass every single day. There were so many times I wanted to quit. There were so many times we were screaming at each other because I'm telling her I can't do it this way. And she just kept telling me, bullshit. I don't want to hear that out of your mouth. You'll be able to accomplish this. And that was really what I needed. I knew that I'm that person. Yes, sometimes I'll come up with an excuse, but I need somebody there that will never take that from me. And they'll push me back, and they'll just be like, I don't care that you're struggling. I don't care you're crying. I need somebody screaming at me in my face. That's really at the end of the day. And halfway through my junior season, I was able to return to the lacrosse field, and I scored a goal in my first game back. And I was the first above knee amputee to ever play collegiate lacrosse. And honestly,
For real.
Thank you.
That's
I appreciate it.
That is fantastic. Good for you.
But sole credit was not to me. It was to my teammates and my coaches for having to, deal with me, put up with me. But I mean, it was honestly the best experience of my life, even though it was probably the worst years of my life, because I was kind of dealing and maneuvering this new life in front of me, but I still had people behind me. I still had people supporting me. And I never take that for granted, because I know so many people out there go through difficult moments and they don't have the greatest support system. So that's why I always try to encourage other people. I'm like, listen, if you don't have it this place, find it somewhere else. Use social media as a platform. And that's what I tried to do.
That's awesome. I love that your reflection on this is about the support system and all the positive things. And it sounds to me like you were a natural born leader and a very good athlete. So people tended to turn to you, if I'm getting that correctly. And now that you went through this, it sounds like you have been deeply affected on so many levels with the people involved, but I would be willing to say that those people feel just as grateful to have gone through that process with you, because it's probably altered their mind. The same way you said, well, I can't feel bad for myself. Even though I just lost the leg, I'm not going to feel bad for myself, which is a profound stance to have after losing a leg. I got to be honest, I'd be the one in the bed like, poor me, my leg. But I'm not dramatic at all.
You think that, but it's crazy what your body can do. It's crazy what your mindset can do, especially just having something difficult. I mean, it's like injuring yourself if you're an athlete. That's honestly how I looked at it. I literally looked at it as like, okay, I just tore my ACL. I'm out for a year. I'm redshirting. Like,
right.
Once this year's over, like it's game time. And that's kind of just been my mindset of like everything. I mean, every single year, it's a new year, a clean slate. Like, yeah, everything that happened last year doesn't matter. What happened? What matters is, the time and the energy you're willing to put into this practice right now. So still to this day, because I'm still not retired as an athlete yet, but that's what the mindset I show up to practice every single day with is just try to be better than yesterday.
Well, from one NARP to not one and one on the couch here. Good for you representing all of us. No.
Oh my God, that's what it is. I don't want the title. I don't want the NARP title anymore. The non-athletic regular people.
Oh, see, we had a different one.
Okay.
But I think the reason
I like that. Is that what NARP stands for?
Yes, exactly. You never want that, especially when you play sports.
Yeah, I'm a NARP.
Yeah. Well,
no, it's a tough. I don't consider you guys NARPs. NARP's not a bad thing. I mean, it's just.
It is when everything hurts after. You try and go play basketball, and you're like, your body's like, oh, I can still do all the things I did 10 years ago. And then as soon as you're done playing, you're like, nope, that was terrible. Why did the bottom of my feet hurt? I walk on them every day. What I was going to say was, I think it shows that true New Englander in you because you're sitting there fighting back with your coach, but at the same time, they're looking at you like, get your ass up, wipe the tears off your face, and do it. And that's that tough, gritty New Englander in you, and I love that. Love that.
Absolutely.
I got to ask you, how difficult is it living in New Hampshire? Well, I mean, technically, when you first started and you were learning everything, you were home, but you were in college at the same time. But I mean, New Hampshire is like heavy on the snow, heavy on the ice. Is that like, how difficult was that?
Just you're saying with my prosthetic leg?
Yeah, with your prosthetic leg. Like that must have been, because I can't walk with two regular good working feet.
Black ice is like, oh my God. Every time there's black ice, I'll literally eat it. I mean, to this day. I mean, it's crazy. And the snow, I'm not, I don't like walking in the snow, but it's crazy because one year I randomly started snowboarding. I'd never snowboarded in my life. And when I first met my fiance, he loved like doing like all the park stuff and everything. And he was like, oh, we got to get you snowboarding. And so I literally we taught myself how to snowboard. And then I literally fell in love with it. I was like, oh, I'm just going to go compete. And so I literally spent one season, traveling to Europe, and I was competing with Team USA for snowboarding. And I just needed one season. I'm like, all right, cool. I'm done with the cold. I'm done with the snow. I'm eating shit everywhere. This is not fun. But no, yeah, New England's tough with the weather, especially in this. I mean, you won't catch me shoveling. I'll use my excuse of me being an amputee for that. Yeah. But,
damn, I'm still looking for one.
I know. I mean, you just have to have good shoes, man. I'm gonna plug Noble right here, the Noble brand. They make great shoes for us amputees. So if you're looking for some good shoes,
tell them if they got any flip flops to send them my way. I'm a flops guy.
All right, I love that.
What would you say was the hardest thing to learn growing up?
Probably learning how to use, save, or spend money.
You legit worked in banking, did you not?
You're welcome.
Are you still with Dime Bank, or are you too Hollywood now?
Okay, rude, but yes, I am.
Imagine your followers finding out you're with a Connecticut-based bank.
Okay, first of all, they have a branch in Wesley, Rhode Island, which is where we grew up. So really, that's brownie points because I'm sticking to my roots. Second, I think everyone would appreciate that I'm with a bank that knows and understands their community. Their tagline is legit, community banking lives here.
Hey, I'm not asking you to sell me on it. I've been banking with them for years, and they know me on a first-name basis. I'm just saying, I'm surprised is all. I can see the headlines now. Mr. Anti-Connecticut actually banks with local community bank?
Okay, you know what? Follow along with me here. They're FDIC insured, equal housing lenders, wicked friendly. They take care of all my personal needs, have expansive products to help all my businesses, offer lending across the board, merchant services. What more could I possibly want or need? And you know that I secretly like Connecticut, so...
Oh, I hope you heard that, folks. Dime Bank is the reason Ian loves Connecticut.
Okay, you're ridiculous. Funny story, though. You know how they have the mobile app with banking, Lifesaver, you can do all the deposits. Have you tried to teach your mom how to do the mobile deposit
No.
yet? I was teaching my mom how to do it, and she takes a selfie instead of the check. Visit dimebank.com to learn more. Awesome. Okay, so then How did this then open up the door for you to start competing in the Olympic level? I mean, that's pretty intense. That's incredible. How does that work? How different is it for you as an amputee to compete in that type of Olympics? Like, where does it differentiate? This is all brand new information for me, so I'm learning everything from you right now.
Yeah. So when I played again for lacrosse, someone from the U.S. Paralympic track and field world reached out asking if I've ever thought about competing, if I'd ever want to do the 100-meter. And it's funny because when I was in my hospital bed, I believe the 2016 Olympics were going on in Rio, and I had saw an ad or I'd saw something about the Paralympics. And I remember looking over at my parents, I'm like, this would actually be really fun. Like, and this would be actually really funny if like I went to the Paralympic Games, like after losing my leg. And then like the thought like washed away. And then so when someone reached out to me, I was like, okay, like maybe this is something I could do. But I was fully invested with like finishing my lacrosse career, right? Like I just wanted to focus on that my senior year. And I told myself once I was done with lacrosse, I'll transition. I'll do the best that I could. So then once I graduated in 2019, that's really when I started just trying to do my research on the Paralympics, on how to make the team, what I need to do. And nowadays there's a ton of information out there. Like, I mean, if anybody's looking on how to get involved, if they're an amputee or if there's someone disabled and want to get involved in the Paralympics, there's so much information out there. When I was trying to research it, it was very confusing and I had no idea what I was doing. And so honestly, I just found this one disabled track meet. And it was in Arizona, and I signed myself up for it, and I had 1 month to train for it. Keep in mind, literally no idea what I was doing. I had never competed in an individual sport before. I'd never ran track and field before, but I was thinking, I just need to run in a straight line. Like I've been doing running tests. I've been doing running drills alongside people. Like I know what it's like to run alongside other people. And I didn't have a track coach, and I bought a pair of starting blocks on Amazon. I was Googling above the knee amputees coming out of starting blocks, wasn't getting any luck. So I had no idea how to use the things. And so fast forward to my first track meet, I showed up, realized I thought it wasn't going to be that big of a deal. I thought like nobody was going to be there, but actually the entire U.S. Paralympic national track and field team was going to be there. I was competing alongside the reigning national champion. So I was thinking, this sucks because I'm just going to get embarrassed. Like, well, I just want to go home. And then I was just thinking, you know what? All I have to do is run a straight line. And when I crossed the finish line, not only did I win and beat the reigning national champion, but I also hit the qualifying times to be a part of the U.S. Paralympic national track and field team.
So
in my first
Phenomenal.
race, and I had no idea what I was doing. I did not look pretty doing it, but again, I have to give the shout out to my teammates because when I did those run tests alongside them every single time, if I came in last place, I always had to do 10 burpees. So in my head, that's what I needed to learn anyways. And I was doing that for 2 years. So I'm a very competitive person as well. And if you line me up on a starting block, I'm literally going to try to kill the person, whoever's in front of me. And from that moment on, that's really when things started to click. I finally found a track coach in Boston, and he was the director of the Reggie Lewis Center. So I had a training facility. One of my teammates, Famita Ayambeku, she's a below the knee amputee. She took me under her wing and basically introduced me to the entire sport and what I needed to do, what I needed. And fast forward 3 months later, qualified for my first world championship team. Did incredible there. I came in 4th place and I broke the American record. And I think like the transition from lacrosse to track, being a student, being a college athlete 100% prepared me because you have to be disciplined, especially if you play a sport in college and you play sports growing up, time management, you need to know how to treat your body with nutrition, recovery. So I knew all of these things, but what I didn't realize was going to be very difficult was the mental aspect of it because growing up being a part of team sports, I relied on other people. Like I wasn't the sole reason, I wasn't the only person out there. So I knew that like I had people to lean on. But an individual sport, all you're doing is you're thinking. All you're doing is you're trying to think of like different ways. And especially in the 100-meter, I only started off doing the 100. I didn't start long jumping until literally last year, right before Paris. So going into it, it was something that I just told myself, listen, just show up, don't think, and just listen to whatever your coach says. And that's really what's helped me so far. And I mean, I still deal with mental struggles. I still deal with, I mean, I'm not perfect. No athlete is perfect. I mean, you find different ways to get better every single day, but that's really the most challenging part for me, is like having it all be on me, and also just how to turn off thinking when you need it in the right moment. But it's been a hell of a ride so far. I mean, I've gone to 2 Paralympic Games.
Absolutely.
Like you said, I'm the American record holder, but I came in 4th place at the Paris Paralympic Games, and I was centimeters off the podium. So it's a kick in the ass that I need to go towards LA 2028 and finally bring home that gold medal. And I'm literally, like, I've been telling everybody, like, I'm going to manifest this for the next 4 years, because when leading up to Paris, I was in medal contention. I was ranked 2nd in the world. I should have came home with a medal, but I did so many rookie mistakes leading up to it. It's like when you have a prosthetic leg, it's like an F1 car, or it's very technical. You have to have the perfect alignment. You have to have the perfect stiffness. So when I got to Paris, we were changing up a lot of my alignment because we were trying to get that extra oomph of, like, so we could break the world record, because I was 20 meters shy of breaking the world record, and I wanted to break it at the Paralympic Games. And that's the one mistake that I did, is we were messing with everything, like turning different screws, different bolts on my leg. And I was getting to the point where I didn't even know the leg that I was jumping on. But listen, at the end of the day, it's my mistake. It's a rookie mistake, and I'm living and I'm learning to deal with it, and so that I can better prepare myself. But unreal experience. I mean, Tokyo was crazy because COVID happened. Nobody was in the stands.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, nobody was in the
point.
stands. None of my family members could go. I got COVID like 3 weeks before leaving, so I was thinking that I wasn't going to be able to go. And then I had to go into quarantine when I got there. So that was just a whole crazy experience in itself. But then going to Paris and having a full on, like, jam-packed stadium, 70,000 people, sold out every single night. Unreal.
Yeah.
Unreal. Especially for the Paralympics.
Yeah,
You know
for
what I
real.
mean?
That's
Because
so cool.
we're getting there with getting the exposure and everything. Like, I understand, like, why people don't realize what the Paralympics are and, like, where to watch them. But because I was that person, you know what I mean? Like, before my accident, I didn't know what the Paralympics were. But now, being a part of this world and this community, and especially being an athlete, it's just insane what people can do. I mean, people are literally, like, outperforming able-bodied athletes, which is the craziest thing to me. I mean, my favorite event to watch is the 100-meter dash of people who are 100% blind. And they are tethered to somebody who is a complete able-bodied athlete, and they literally run, and it looks like it's one person running, because that's how in sync they are. And they just have to, it's crazy.
It's
but
fascinating.
It introduced me to this whole new world that I'm like,
so crazy.
This is insane how I didn't know that this existed. Because you go and you watch the Paralympic Games, talk about wanting to run through a wall.
Yeah.
You see these people and like all their disabilities, all the problems they must have back at home, but that's not what they're showing when they compete. And it's so incredible to be a part of. And that's why I love how it's going to be in LA, because I'm just like,
Locked
the energy
in.
that Paris brought, they need to bring that. They need to bring that to LA, because that was unmatched. I mean, I don't know what it is with Europeans in the Paralympics, but they love it. And that's what we need here in America.
Well, it's crazy because you talked about the mental battle when it comes to track and field. And I don't think a lot of people really understand that, because when I ran track, my most daunting event was the 400. And it's because I mentally was scared of it.
Yeah.
I could run it. And I was fast, but I was just so scared of the 400. And then on top of that, to add all the challenges that comes with being a Paralympian, to then go out and run the events, like you said, I would have never thought, like, thinking about this, like, what is she referring to? She's got to run a straight line. I wonder what she has to. But like you said, loose screw, tighten screw, stiff this. Like, I would have never even thought of that.
Oh my God, yeah. I mean, I'm an above the knee amputee, so I probably have 12 to 14 different screws, bolts on my leg, but they use Loctite. So, like, I mean, it's not going anywhere if you do the right things. And typically prosthetic companies don't want amputees messing with it. That's why you go, it's like going to a doctor's appointment. Like, they do the adjustments, but from very early on, I made them teach me because I was like, I can't be coming in every single time I want to make an adjustment. Like I need to be able to know how to do this on the track. And that's the crazy part. But it's not even that. It's like the different angles that my knee should be connected to my socket. And that's something that I learned in the last year because all these Europeans are out here kicking our asses and they have all these different type of alignments. They have all these different type of stiffness of blades. And I'm like, how do they know this stuff and we don't? Like, we're the greatest freaking country there is. We need to have this information.
Agreed.
Good point.
So I actually went out to Italy and I worked with my competition's prosthetic guy. They allowed me to go out there and I learned so much from them. And I mean, there were 3 of us Americans that went and worked with them. So we're trying to bring it back and like we're trying to find like different people that could help us do this because the testing that they do alone is insane. It's a game changer and no wonder why like all these Europeans are so great. It's like as amputees, as people who are disabled, it's insane.
Yeah, it seems like it's a very intensive process. I got to ask you, so like, was there a point where, I mean, I've heard this terminology before, so I apologize if it's inaccurate, but how long did it last for you where it was really odd to no longer have the bottom half of your leg? Like, what was it, like like a phantom foot, or like a phantom leg where you think you can feel your leg and stuff? What is that process like? It's got to be like a very like alarming mental game to kind of like retrain your brain to understand that that limb is no longer there.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, because I grew up 19 years of my life with 2 legs. I'll tell you this. I'm 9 years as an amputee and still constant every single day, 24 hours a day. I have the phantom limb. So right now that I'm talking about it, my foot is tingling. My left foot that's no longer there is tingling. I still get phantom pain. And that mostly comes from training. Like if I have just like it's like sore muscles and it's just, I'll get like an electric shock. But I'll tell you this, when my accident first happened to me, the worst part about my accident, it wasn't even the fact that I lost my leg. It was the phantom pains because I was getting them 24 hours a day. I could not sleep. And it was just constant pain. I don't know if it was because I was awake during my accident. Like, I don't know. And nothing worked for me. I would try medicine. I don't know if you guys heard of the mirror trick, which I think is literal complete bullshit. It's like you put a mirror in between your legs and it shows you that you have 2 legs. I'm like, I'm tricking my brain to say that I do have 2 legs. So I understand why my phantom limb isn't going anywhere. And I tried stim. I tried so many different things. And what actually ended up working for me is I went to a hypnotist and I was like, just hypnotize me. I'm like, I can't. And that's when they started getting better. Honestly, that's really when it started to kind of ease down a little bit. But still to this day, I mean, I would say the first year is really when like it took me a lot because like I would do certain things like a certain way. Like if I had 2 legs, I had to relearn how to do everything. But now I'll tell you this, like I don't even remember my life with 2 legs. The only thing that I remember that I can't do smoothly anymore is walking up the stairs. Like walking up, like just running up the stairs. Now I have to go like literally like 2 at a time because like I can go one after the other, but it's slow. Like I want to be fast. And so that's the only time. Other than that, like, I mean,
always competing. Athletes always competing.
Always doing
even
something,
trying to get
man.
up the stairs,
I mean,
got to get it up the fastest possible.
Yeah. I mean, it's crazy. Like I had no idea what I wanted to do with my life. Only thing I was passionate about was sports. So I honestly thought that I was going to become maybe a college lacrosse coach. I could work my way up, but I went to school for criminal justice, no interest in being a cop or had anything to do with that. I honestly,
Same.
I was just doing criminal justice because it was interesting and I could pay attention. So this, honestly, when I say like, I'm so grateful that it happened to me because, you know, I was also that pain in the ass athlete that I hated practice. I hated extra work. Like I was that stubborn athlete that only showed up on game day and I would run through a brick wall for you on game day. But if it came to practice, I was lazy and I was getting worse each year. So in my mind, I needed something like my accident to happen to me because it really just rewired everything and it made me understand and appreciate the hard work that it takes to get somewhere. Like I had it very easy growing up because I was a naturally gifted athlete. But I remember sitting on the sidelines after I lost my leg with my crutches not playing and thinking to myself, what if I did apply myself and gave 100% every single day of practice and did whatever I could? Would I have been at one of the top Division I programs in the country? And then it was at that moment that I was just sick of it. And I was honestly just disgusted with myself because I was telling myself, I just went through the motions the first 19 years of my life. Now it's like, if I want to play again, I have to put in that time. I have to put in that extra work because things aren't just going to just be handed to me anymore. I need to really understand and appreciate what it takes to overcome something.
Phenomenal. So it's really just a testament to the fact that this is just on very different levels and facets of your life has kind of created a very different version, a better version from what you're saying of yourself, which is a lot of people are in search of that. And unfortunately for your circumstances has led you to it, but you've put an incredible twist on it. How many events, like how many different things can you compete in the Paralympics? Like what are the different categories? Is it the same as any Olympics or is there some different curations with some sports having more or less?
Yeah, so that's a great question. For the Paralympic Games, and so for me as an athlete, I am considered a T63 athlete, which means I am an above the knee amputee. So let's start from the beginning. If you're disabled, if you have cerebral palsy, an amputee, you're visually impaired, you're in a wheelchair, any of the other disabilities, if I'm missing any other ones, and you want to get into competing, the first thing you have to do is you have to go through classification. Basically what that is a doctor's appointment, and they literally assess and they analyze your disability. Mine is pretty straightforward because I'm an amputee, but say if I had cerebral palsy or say if I was visually impaired, you go through 2 to 3 hours of testing and then they'll put you into a category. So for amputees, it's all the numbers of 60s. So me being a T63 athlete, I'm an above the knee amputee. Like there's a T64 athlete, which is the below the knee amputee. So I'm not competing. I'm only competing with people who I'm closest to with the disability. So so they could keep it fair. And I would honestly, how I would relate it to is kind of like the Title IX in college, like how some colleges will have, if they have a football team, then they won't have a men's lacrosse team, but they'll have a women's lacrosse team. So for me, like the only events that I can do on the track are the 100-meter and the long jump. But say if they're for the below the knee amputee men, they have 6 or 7 different events. It's all about how many people in the world show up to do that event. So me being like my classification group, I probably have like 10 to 15 girls max, but you'll look at another category and they'll have 30 to 40 to 50. So it's just the popularity of it. And that's why they'll add more events. And you can honestly do as many events that you want. I train with this guy in California. He's a below the knee amputee and he does the 100-meter, the 200-meter, the long jump, the high jump, and he throws javelin. So he literally is like a multi for the Paralympics, but they don't have like a heptathlon, decathlon like the Olympics.
Right. Okay.
You can do as many events as you want. It's typically more common for Paralympians in the track and field world to do more events than just one. Like as opposed to the Olympics, you typically will just see athletes doing one event and that's what they focus on because it's so competitive and they have people in every single event that are the best in the world. So as opposed to for the Paralympics, looking at me in the United States, I only have 2 other competitors that I compete against when I go to nationals. So we don't have like all these people coming out and trying to compete. That's why we're trying to grow it and try to get it. I mean, that's hopefully the goal is like this is the first year that they combined able-bodied and Paralympians for the U.S. track and field world. So our national championships is going to be with the able-bodied intertwined, which is wild to me. I mean, I think it's awesome. I think it's incredible. Crazy though. Like it's insane, but it's also, it's a lot more expensive, having be at freaking able-bodied national championships and spending like $3,000 on like, I'm like, all right,
wait a minute.
Let's go back to this high school track. We'll be good.
Now tell us a little bit about your philanthropy work. I know you're doing some stuff as well with, was it charity, right? Did I get that correct? What was the program? I'm sorry.
Yeah. No, that's perfect. So when I became an amputee and what I was saying earlier about having prosthetic legs donated to me from foundations, because prosthetic legs are extremely expensive. By the time I was a senior in college, I had received 2 different specialized prosthetics from 2 different incredible foundations. And that's really what inspired me, and it made me realize that this is something I needed to do with my life. I needed to be able to give back all the support and the helping hands that I received and portray the message out to the world that if I could go through something like this and still live my dreams and still live the life that I want, then 100% so can anybody else. And with the help of my incredible family, I was able to start the Born to Run Foundation. And the foundation focuses on donating specialized prosthetics to amputees that just want to live a fun and fulfilling life. I mean, we have a very, loose mission statement because we want to be able to help as many people as possible. I believe we've helped around 45 to 50 different amputees at this point. And for the last however many years, 6 years that we've started the foundation. And honestly, it's a full circle moment for me whenever we can donate a leg or donate a prosthetic to somebody, because I was that one person just sitting in my prosthetist office waiting for a prosthetic leg so that I can play lacrosse again. And so to be in the room or to be a part of somebody else's journey, it's more motivating to me because I see it. And it just lights a fire within me that I need to help. I need to help even more people. I need to get the word out. And that's why I've just been so grateful for all the support. And that's really what the foundation was. It was kind of like a thank you to the whole community. And now it's like bringing in like a whole new world and like as many different resources as I can to just help as many people as I can.
That is beautiful.
Yeah.
It's wonderful that you're doing something so incredible like that. Good for you. Is there,
where
can people like donate to you?
Yes, you can donate. You can be a part of our fundraising events. We have a couple golf tournaments. We do one in Canton, Mass. We do one in Tilton, New Hampshire. But you can go to www.theborntorunfoundation.org and you can find all the incredible people that we've donated to, read their stories. You can donate. You can find out how to get involved. Different things like that. But I do have to say this one thing. My mom is the superhero of the foundation. It's not me. I'm the face. My mother does everything.
Oh, that's great. We love a mom. We love a superhero mom.
We love moms.
That's fantastic. Now, and for you personally, now, because you're in the Olympics, do you work solely on sponsorships? And that's what you have to do as well? You fundraise and get sponsors for people to get you going?
So I'm very fortunate enough to have a couple different sponsorships. Like I said earlier, I'm a noble athlete, and I have a prosthetic company that is one of my sponsors. So I'm able to get blades for free. I'm able to get different legs, different components for free. I do a lot of motivational speaking. So if anybody out there wants any motivation, you can hire me.
Yeah, fantastic. Love that.
Yeah,
let's go.
I gotta plug it. I do a lot of stuff on social media. Not as great as you though. I think I need some tips.
We can connect for sure.
Yeah, on how to grow my social media. I mean, I'm okay. And I say yes to everything that comes my way, any single opportunity. I was on season 43 of Survivor. I was the first above the knee amputee to ever compete on that show. So
that's
that
awesome.
really helped my
that?
brand a little bit, because the no bullshit attitude, no bullshit mindset, and going into something like that, literally not eating, living on an island, not do it and being an amputee was crazy. And I did pretty well.
Imagine.
Obviously I didn't win. I'm not a millionaire, but I made it pretty far. I created it's all about building your brand and trying to do as many different things as possible and just, being vulnerable in certain moments, always putting myself in uncomfortable positions because I know that it can lead to something. And also just having such a fun time doing it. Honestly, I say yes to these things and I dread saying yes to these things, but then once I go out and I experience it,
right.
It's like, oh my God, I can't even imagine my life if I didn't do this.
Exactly.
And that's really what it is. It's honestly just all these different moments of me being scared out of my mind, why am I doing this? Do I want to do this? But honestly, it's just, like I said, it's getting to experience your life. And that's, I had to have something terrible happen to me to kind of open my eyes a little bit. And that's why I'm grateful for it.
Wonderful. Well, I really admire your mindset. It's incredibly motivating. And thank you for sharing your story all this time. We're going to wrap this up here and we're going to do some Spitfire So New England segment questions. Are you ready?
I'm ready. Let's do
Okay,
this.
there are 6 beautiful New England states. It seems like you are well traveled. What is 1 through 6 your favorite New England states? You got to rank them.
All right, here we go. Obviously, New Hampshire.
Numero uno.
603.
I gotta say Massachusetts, obviously because Boston. I love everything in Boston. Gotta say Maine and Rhode Island.
Yes, you beat Vermont.
Let's go.
Yeah, no, I honestly, I'm gonna do Rhode Island over Maine. All right. So it's New Hampshire, Massachusetts, Rhode Island.
Let's go.
Maine.
Vermont or Connecticut?
I'm thinking which one to put. Honestly.
Let us help you. Vermont.
Yeah.
All right. Vermont, Connecticut.
Connecticut always goes
Vermont
last.
for the
Connecticut's
scenery.
very
Vermont for the
comfortable.
scenery. Yeah. I was wondering where I was going to put Connecticut. Because honestly, sometimes, never mind. I'm not going to say that.
Okay, if you could add one state, one area, city, country, what have you, to New England, bring all the weather, all the people, if it's got traffic, if it's got palm trees, whatever it is, if you can bring it in, which one are you bringing?
I think Tampa, Florida is a good area.
Let's
I
go.
like that.
Bring in
I like
Florida.
that.
Area.
Yeah,
I love
Florida.
it. We're in sync right now.
That's a
I mean,
great
New
area. Yeah, I
Hampshire
love
is
that,
numero
yeah.
uno for me. I brought Florida up. This is fantastic.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
if you could have a perfect day eating New England food, like what are your top New England foods you're going to be eating that day? Is it lobster rolls, clam cakes and chowder, coffee, milk? What is it?
All right, so I'm gonna start off with lunch, and I'm gonna do I'm gonna do lobster roll, lobster everything,
Love that.
maybe some oysters, and then I'm gonna finish the night off in the North End and get some pasta.
Ooh, fantastic.
Yeah.
So that-
I mean, I don't
Ooh.
really have a favorite restaurant in the North End because everyone I go to is literally insane, and I
Yeah.
just love it. And I love pasta, so I
So-
that's
Sorry to interrupt you. Correct me
No,
if
you're
I'm
fine.
wrong. You're on the West Coast now, right?
I am. Yes. So I train. I go back literally like every month now. But yeah, I'm been in California for the last like year and a half.
So where do you get your morning donkeys?
Oh my God. So this is crazy. I don't even drink coffee. I need to start drinking coffee. But
Oh,
listen, I'll tell you
goodness.
this. In high school, I would go to Dunkin' Donuts every single morning and I would get a glazed donut. That was my breakfast.
Love
There
that.
you go.
Love it.
Well, you were playing lax, so it's fine. Sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah. I mean, listen, I ate like absolute. Oh my God. Thank God I was an athlete because I don't know what I would look like if I was.
This is what happens when you stop becoming an athlete, by the way. Because
guys look
what is
great.
it?
Over there.
No, I love
What are we?
it.
Put it over there.
Are we Norp? What is
I
it?
love it.
Narps. Narps.
You guys are like the relaxed fit look. I'm
That's it.
stealing that quote from that movie Neighbors. It's like with Seth Rogen
I
when
do.
he's
Oh, great
standing next to
movie.
I
Zac
do miss my
Efron.
lacrosse body.
All right, one last question.
will
If
say.
you could host the Olympics here in New England, where would you do it?
Great question. All right. I think it has to be in Massachusetts, but I don't want it in Boston because that's too hectic and too crazy. I would say like literally in the middle, like smack dab in the middle of New Hampshire and like in Massachusetts, like on that line. Cause we can get, I don't know, because weren't they thinking one year to do it in Boston?
Probably.
Yeah, probably. I'm sure they've thought about it. I mean, I know that we've got the World Cup coming in 2026 to Gillette Stadium, so that's going to be pretty
All
huge.
right, then maybe Boston. I think, all right, Boston. I think we could finagle like different, I mean, because we already have like incredible stadiums, incredible venues there. So, and we could
Great
do some
spots.
crazy things with the ocean right there too. So yeah, I'm going to say that.
Love it.
Let's go.
All right, if everyone can give you a follow, where should they be looking?
You can follow me at Noelle Lambert on any of the social medias.
Okay, and the foundation page one more time so people can try and help donate and help the cause for you, help support you so we can help you win some gold for us here and put New England on the map for the Paralympics.
Awesome. I appreciate that. Yeah, you can go to at the Born to Run Foundation on any of the social medias. Make sure you add and then www.theborntorunfoundation.org.
Fantastic. Well, thank you so much for your time today. We really appreciate it. Thank you so much for sharing your story and educating me specifically. I'm sure a lot of listeners will feel the same. It's been wonderful getting to know you, and we definitely wish you the very best of luck.
Awesome. Thank you so much for having me. Yeah, I'll see you boys in LA.
Yeah.
LA
Well,
2028.
we're not LA guys, but
I was
maybe.
gonna say, I'm scared.
No
of the
Dunkin',
West.
no
Fine,
Ian.
You
Yeah,
can
no
host a
Dunkin'.
big watch party in New England for me. There
Awesome.
you go.
Yeah, we'll host it. All right, folks, that's going to conclude episode 48 of the So New England podcast. Please always remember, folks, life's better in New England.
Red Sox Celtics